Hello and welcome to Veterans Day letter writing. I'm your teacher, Mrs. Kiris, and these are my kids, Asher and Everest, and they're going to be writing with us today. We're going to be learning some fun facts about Veterans Day and all about how to write a letter to encourage our veterans. I hope you've had a chance to print out your stationery, your keyword outlines, and the other resources in our packet. So let's get started. I'm going to share this screen with you, and we're going to begin our lesson. So one of the reasons why we write letters to veterans is to share our gratitude with our troops. It can be very encouraging. November 11th is Veterans Day. It's a national holiday in the US, and it honors and celebrates those who serve or have served in our military. Now, here's a fun fact for you. November 11th is the day we celebrate Veterans Day because November 11th is the day that World War I ended. And in fact, it ended at 11 a.m. and November is the 11th month of the year. And so that's why on November 11th, we celebrate the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month when World War I ended. Isn't that fun? There are 20 million veterans in America today. That's a big number of veterans, and all the more reason why we should celebrate and honor them. So how did Veterans Day become a holiday? Well, in World War I, when the war ended, they celebrated with a big day called Armistice Day. They thought this was going to be the last war ever. Veterans Day, though, celebrates military members from all wars because, unfortunately, there were more wars after World War I. Now, Memorial Day, which we celebrate in May, is a remembrance of our fallen military. But Veterans Day is a celebration to honor and encourage military still alive. How can we celebrate Veterans Day? Lots of people celebrate Veterans Day by going to parades or attending events in their local towns. But you can celebrate Veterans Day by writing a letter of gratitude to a veteran that you know. Do you guys know any veterans? We know some veterans. Who do we know as veterans?
My uncle is a veteran.
Their uncle is a veteran.
And so is our grandparents.
Both of their grandparents are veterans. So think about grandparents, uncles, aunts, maybe even your mom or dad is a veteran. Perhaps you have a brother or sister in the military as well. All of those people are veterans, whether they used to serve or whether they're serving now, they're veterans. And I'm sure they would appreciate a letter from you. Here's some symbols of Veterans Day that maybe you've seen before. Poppies. Poppies started growing in Flanders Field after World War I. Flanders Field was a field where many of the military died. And so poppies have become a symbol of remembrance on Veterans Day. Flags are always a symbol of our military, so they're also a symbol of Veterans Day. And Flanders Field. Flanders Field is where many people are buried today. And in fact, a great book to read is called In Flanders Field, and it tells the story of the field and of the famous poem written about the poppies of Flanders Field. And of course, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Washington, D.C., or Arlington, Virginia, near Washington, D.C., is a tomb that honors the military and honors all soldiers who have died that we maybe don't know their names. So those are sometimes symbols we use for Veterans Day and sometimes for Memorial Day as well. In your packet, you have a Veterans Day word bank. So if you're ever stuck when you're writing, it's helpful to look for some of these words. We can remember our country, our military heroes. We can think about their freedom and service. We could think about the history of our military and our veterans and the flag and how our veterans have kept us safe. When we look at the uniform of a veteran, we might think about their service. When you attend a parade, you can think about how brave they are and how they protect you. And you can honor those people who've served our country, the United States of America, and helped make our nation great with their sacrifice and strength and courage. And we can tell them how much we appreciate their dedication. So all of these words are great words to include in your letter. You don't have to use all of them though. These are just a few to get you started. Let's look at the parts of a letter really quick. The parts of a letter are, there's 5 of them, just like 5 fingers on your hand. To begin with, you're going to start with the date. That's whatever day you were writing the letter. And then you're going to greet your veteran. Now, if you don't know their name, you can just say, "Dear veteran." But if you do know their name, you can say, "Dear Grandpa," "Dear Uncle Mike," "Dear Mom and Dad," whoever your veteran is that you're writing to. We call that the greeting. And then you have everything you're going to write in your letter, and that is the body of your letter. It can be one paragraph, it could be a couple sentences, it can be many pages, however long you want to make it. Finally, you're going to close your letter with a nice greeting, like kindly or thankfully, gratefully, sincerely, some words like that. And then lastly, you close with your name. So those are the 5 parts of a letter. And you have some of those on your handouts that you got, the stationery, and sometimes you just have to put them in yourself. So now it's time to write. Let's make a keyword outline and plan our writing. A keyword outline helps us think of what to say before we actually write it. And that can be helpful because then we don't get stuck while we're writing and we can focus on writing really nice sentences. When we make a keyword outline, we're going to ask ourselves some questions to think of ideas. And then from those answers, we're going to pick the 3 most important keywords and put them on our outline. When we're done with our outline, we're ready to write our letter, and you can get your nice stationery. You can pick from some of the ones that I have made for you, right? Or you can just write on a plain piece of paper or your own stationery. The first thing we're going to do is introduce yourself. Your veteran might not know who you are if you're going to be sending your letter far away to troops that you don't know. So you want to introduce yourself. So you might change this a little if you're writing to a family member, but here's some basic questions. Let's think about this. First of all, what grade are you in? And what do you like about school? What do you think, Asher?
Well, I'm in 6th grade.
All right, so 6th grade. And what do you like about school?
I like doing field trips to the zoo.
He likes field trips to the zoo. So
'Cause I like
that's,
animals.
so that's
a lot.
something you might tell your veteran, what grade you're in and what you like about school. What kind of pets do you have is another great idea. Everest, what kind of pets do you have?
We have a fish and a hermit crab.
You have a fish and a hermit crab. All right, so the next thing that we'll write is about our pets. What hobbies or sports do you participate in?
I do soccer, and I like collecting rare Lego sets.
So whatever you enjoy, you can include in your letter. Maybe you play a sport, maybe you play a certain position, maybe you just won a big game. You should tell them about that. What's something interesting that's happened to you recently? Maybe it's somewhere that you've gone. Maybe you have discovered something or won a big prize or had a big accomplishment, like passing a big test in school or finishing a book series. What about you, Everest? Is something that happened to you that's interesting?
I climbed to the top of a mountain.
So we climbed on a hike to the top of a mountain. That was really interesting. You can put down whatever's happened to you that you find interesting. I'm sure your veteran will enjoy that. And another great thing to include is, do you know any veterans in your family? You can tell your veteran how you're connected to the military as well. So remember, we told you that we have grandparents and an uncle in the military. So that's what we would tell if we were writing a letter to a veteran. Go ahead and fill in that part of your keyword outline. You can pause the video if you want and then come back. The next section we're going to write about is expressing our thanks for our veterans. We want to tell them how much we appreciate them. So here's a question to ask yourself. Why do you think that they're so brave? Boys, what could we put down?
They're dedicated.
They're very dedicated. And they have to go far away, right? They have to go far from home and they have to leave behind their families, right? That's pretty brave. Another question you can ask yourself is, how is your life better because the veterans have served in the military? What do you think, Asher?
I think that my life is better because I feel more safe.
Right, we feel safe knowing that our military is taking care of our country, right? We have freedoms that other countries don't get to enjoy. When you see someone in a military uniform, what does that make you think about? Do you think about their service? Do you think about where they might have gone Does it remind you of family, countries that they've served in? You can put all of that down. Now remember, you don't have to use all of these questions, just some of them. How does the flag remind you of our veterans?
It reminds me of the red stripes sort of remind me of the blood that they shed.
Yeah, the red stripes can remind us that they have sometimes gotten injuries or have given their lives for our country. And sacrifice, we could put sacrifice, right? Think of all these things. And the last question is, what do you get to enjoy because veterans serve and protect our country?
Freedom.
We do get to enjoy many freedoms. We have liberties and we have safety and security, right? Because we have people who are dedicated serving our country. All of these are things to say thank you to our veterans for. It's the services that they provide that we want to acknowledge and help them know that we understand what they're doing for our country. So go ahead and finish filling in this part of your keyword outline. Again, you can pause the video, finish this part, and then move on. So the last part of our letter, we want to encourage and uplift our veterans, help them smile, make them have a good day. I think they were already going to have a good day getting your letter. So let's see what we can put in this section. First of all, tell them they're doing a great job. What can we say about how they're doing a great job? Maybe we can talk about their dedication. What else could we say?
You could talk about how they protected us, that they're doing a good job protecting us.
They're doing a good job protecting us and we feel safe, right? That's a great thing to put down. What do you admire about their job? Military members have hard jobs. So what is something that you really admire about them?
All the equipment they use.
Yeah, they have to learn special equipment, right? And they even have to put themselves in danger sometimes. And they work hard. How will you continue to support them? You know, we want to make sure our veterans know that we haven't forgotten that they're working really hard for our country. So you can tell them that you're going to pray for them, that maybe you'll keep sending them letters. Maybe you'll volunteer in your town. How will you do that? Maybe you'll go put flags out for parades, or you'll go serve at a retirement home where there are a lot of veterans. There are lots of ways you can help serve the military by volunteering. So let them know what you plan to do. Now, something you can end your letter with is something fun, like a joke, or something inspiring, like a famous quote. Everest and I were talking about a joke before. What was your joke, Everest?
It was, why did the baby cookie cry?
Why did the baby cookie cry? I don't know. Why did the baby cookie cry?
His mother was away for so long.
His mother was away for so long. I always find that joke to be really funny. So if you know a funny joke, you can write it in to your letter, and I'm sure that that is going to make your veteran smile. So we can do the cookie cry joke, right? And the answer is because his mom was away for so long. I think that's really funny. Maybe you have a famous quote from a president or someone you admire that you want to share with your veteran. Another thing you can put in is a drawing or a piece of artwork. You might see behind me on the wall that my boys have drawn flags and military helmets and the poppies from Flanders Fields. And we might fold one of those up and include them in our letter so that our veteran can have something special from us. So if you like to draw or make art, you can include that in yours. I hope that you will honor our veterans on November 11th by writing letters to veterans. In your packet, you'll find some places that you can send your letters, or if you know veterans in your family, you can just give it to the people that you know. And I'm sure that they're going to really appreciate the time you took to honor our veterans on November 11th. You can write letters any time of year though. So thanks for writing awesome letters with us. I hope to hear from you and hear how your letter writing goes, but happy writing, happy letter writing, and happy Veterans Day.